Hey guys, welcome to another video. Thanks for tuning into this one. I would like to say that thank you to all of you that have reached out, that have, subscribed, all of that good stuff. It goes a long way. And also to let you know, the main purpose of this channel, like I always say, is to help you, if you are an aspiring pilot, get to achieve that goal. And I hope that by making these videos, by sharing this information, you are getting the value that you deserve. And to be honest with you, I've gotten all this feedback, and that is really why I keep making these videos. Those feedbacks go a long way. It gives me the courage, gives me the confidence to keep making these videos, because some of you, and majority of you actually, are finding these videos quite helpful. With that said though, you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for tuning in again. On this particular subject of TUI, I hope that you guys are making progress on your assessments. I know a lot of you have found some of the assessments a little bit tedious, and to be honest with you, it takes a bit of getting used to. When the time you do these assessments, the first time, the second time, the third time, you get to realize the pattern, you get to know how to approach it and how to plan for it. This is not just an assessment that you wake up one morning and you decide to do. It requires a bit of planning, a bit of practice. Honestly, when you talk to a lot of those guys that have made it through some of these programs, the schemes out there, you would realize that it wasn't their first time, it wasn't probably their second time. Some of them, it's their third attempt at some of these schemes before they finally get through. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some people that made it through the first time, but that's just to let you know that these things require a bit of planning, a bit of being proactive and doing the work that is necessary well in advance. Another thing I would like to say is this: know that I don't just talk about TUI on this channel. There are so many cadet programs out there. But before I bring a cadet program to the channel, I try to do my own research and try to understand what is necessary or what is necessary to get through. Because what's the point of me talking about it program that I have no information on? And that is where I have to be very selective about the cadet programs I talk about. Now, I could bring all these cadet programs out here, but if I'm not giving you the necessary information or the tools that you need to succeed, then it's of no use. The other thing I want to say is this. Well, in addition to what I just said, there are some programs out there that, depending on the region, you also have to understand the culture and the aviation industry out there. So for example, a lot of you in the Asian part of the world are asking questions about maybe a cadet program that you're familiar with. And the truth is, majority of those, I'm not really familiar with them. And it will take people like you, if you have experience with those programs, to share some information with me, and I'll be able to build on that. And of course, it is still aviation, it's still flying. The concepts will be the same, but trust me, there's always some foundational information that does help to make these videos effective. So let's talk about TUI. The application opened up on the 8th of January. So it's slightly more than a week since the application has been open. And I know that some of you have really made it through the stage 3. As we know, the stage 1 consists of the CV and just going through the application process. The stage 2 was filling out a questionnaire and an online assessment, which a lot of you did give me some feedback on how difficult, through your comments, by the way, letting me know how difficult and challenging some of those assessments were. And the truth is, well, you have to understand that this is a program that is sponsored and the bar needs to be raised quite high. Otherwise, if everybody can get through, then it becomes very difficult for these airlines to get people that they want. But by raising the bar high, it makes it easier for them to select the few that were able to make it through. Now, I also understand that some were saying things in the lines of maybe scoring pretty high and still not making it through. I have to be honest with you, I can't say much about that because I don't understand majority of the details of what goes in the background. Okay, that's just the honest truth. But here's something I would say to you: do not let that discourage you from trying in the future, because that is honestly the biggest part of this cadet schemes. You don't want to get discouraged. If you get discouraged, you won't try the next one, and guess what? That may be your next opportunity to actually get selected. So don't give up. Keep going. Keep trying. Another one is going to open up soon. So keep looking for those opportunities. Now, moving on to stage 3. The stage 3 is where you do that digital interview. Like I've given my recommendations in the past on that. I won't say much more to it. The point here is present yourself well, present yourself with your competencies, and of course, talk about the question that you're being asked within the allotted time. Make sure you are able to nail the answer within the allotted time. If you go beyond that time, I think from what I've heard, you get disqualified. So keep that in mind. And I also know that some of you are saying that the time wasn't even enough. And that's probably intentional. It's a balance between giving not enough or giving too much. And that's the way to screen out people. There's no time given, then people can speak for 10 minutes, right? And if there is too limited amount of time, then you won't have enough time to give the information. So know that the 2 minutes that is allotted to some of this assessment is what is necessary to say what is needed, okay? So don't try to go more than necessary. Now, in preparation for the next stage, I try to encourage you all, especially if you've made it through stage 1 through 3 and you're just waiting to hear back, the time while you're waiting should be spent on preparing for stage 4. And how do you start doing that? Well, the first thing is this: keep up with TUI. Updates on the website, updates on their fleet expansion or growth plans, their news, and just those type of information. You need to keep up with it. And of course, building your understanding of the operation of TUI goes a long way. It makes you more confident when you go into that stage 4. Now, stage 4, it says here you will have to do a series of exercises. Understand that the series of exercises you will be taking will require testing your competencies, and this is where your familiarity with the pilot competencies go a long way, and your ability to apply those competencies in your stories, in your answers, in the scenarios you're given. And this is where you need to start preparing now. I know that it's not easy to prepare for something you're not sure you're going to take, but the truth is it goes a long way because you are buying more time to refresh yourself on your stories and make sure that you have the necessary detail that is required. Now, what details am I talking about? I'm talking about those stories that you will need to show your competencies. And this is where, depending on your background, depending on the job you do, you need to start thinking about how you can bring in those pilot competencies into your stories using the STAR model, STAR. If you're not familiar with that, you can just do a quick Google. But the point here is, think about your stories and be able to narrate them using those STAR concept. I've covered this before. I plan to actually do a live at some point. Finding the time is the hard part. I have to be honest with you guys. It's finding the time to do this live is the hard part. But the point here is you guys can do your own homework, and this will go a long way by staying ahead. Staying ahead is what I want you to keep in mind at this point. The time now is time to keep working on those interview stages, because trust me, that is where things get more difficult. That is where you have to face the panel. That is where you have to face, maybe you have to do some group exercises, things like that. This is the time to prepare. So I hope that you guys are doing what is necessary. Now, of course, the stage 5 is where you have to do the flying assessment. And this is something that, or flying aptitude test, all right? This is where you are assessed on your, your aptitude to fly or aptitude for flying. And this is something that you need to practice for as well if you can. If you have your simulator on your computer, maybe this is the time to start practicing more regularly so that you understand how to scan, you understand how to make inputs, you understand how to react to changes and things like that. Like I said, I hope to still make more videos on this, but please know that my channel isn't just going to be focused on TUI. And I know that a lot of you are asking that I make some videos on different cadet programs, and I have to be very selective, because if I don't have much to say about those programs, I won't make a video on it. But once I have enough information or have something that I believe will benefit the viewers, then of course I bring it to you. I hope that you found value in this one. If you have, please don't forget to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way, and I'd love to see you in the next one.